All right, we're going to talk about OpenShift, Tekton CI, and OpenShift ArgoCD GitOps with the CD side of things, right? So continuous integration, continuous delivery. Here's the nature of the application. The users are going to wait right here. If I hit the play button here, now the users are enabled and they can start putting in transactions. And they can pound like crazy, adding a ton of transactions. And you can see it makes my little car move around the track here. And actually all this data is aggregated for all the users playing simultaneously are in either the yellow car or the blue car, right? And they would just drive around the track. And when it gets to the end, you'll see a nice little top 10 leaderboard. Let's just go and drive it around to get to the very end here. And I guess I could have brought up some other players to make the car move a little faster. But there you go. So you can see that this player just won 4.56. That's got right there. Team 2 won. Okay, so that's good. Let's hit reset. Reset. Oh, reset for me. Reset. There we go. All right, leave that as it is. Now let's go actually make a change to this application. So the application is running back here on OpenShift. This is the 5 pods behind that application right here. You can see it, a little Quarkus application. And you can see it says 5 pods. There's also a Kafka broker, Infinispan in-memory data grid. And those are the core components behind it right there. So those are the 3 key elements. And as a developer user, I'm going to simply just make a change and do a git push. So a developer user does not necessarily care about all that backend stuff, but they will open up their code editor here. And let's actually enable shaking. So if this is a mobile-based app, you can now shake it. And then let's also change another endpoint here. We'll just say bonjour. All right, so we're going to change an endpoint that's public. I can poll. And of course, we made a configuration change. Come down here and say git status. Those are 2 things I changed. Git commit AM. Okay, so I made it say bonjour. And it's enable shaking true. All right, that's what I did right there. Enable shaking true. Yep, just had to double check. Git push. All right, so we do a git push. That sends it back up to GitHub. If I come back over here now, we will see that there is, in fact, a pipeline off and running. And we'll come back to this in a second, but let's, if you look here at the pipeline run, you can see here it does a git clone, a Maven-based build, a builda image build. So this is the artifact build representing Maven package. The builda build, which is the actual Docker image, if you will. And then, of course, it does a git update, which is the way we alert the ArgoCD. So let me go here. You can kind of see there's the logging output. But let's go over to our GitHub repo. Let me see. Let's hit refresh here. And, okay, see it says bonjour, enable shaking true. So that is the one we just made a change for. So that is the GitHub repo that got updated based on the git push. And our pipeline is executing. You see here's the Maven output right now. Moving along there. And then once the Maven build gets done, it does the builda build, right? And it does the git update. What the git update will do is, and by the way, the builda build will push out an image to Quay.io. So it goes to Quay.io here. And then, of course, it will update this file, this customization file with the new digest, right? The SHA-256. That'll get updated, letting you know what that the image has been updated. So you'll notice this number will match over here to this number when the time is right. Okay. Let's actually kind of describe what this thing does, just kind of in a diagram way, right? So you have your git push to GitHub based on the code editor doing their thing. There's Tekton and ArgoCD running over here in OpenShift. So the webhook triggers Tekton, and that works instantaneously. That does a git clone that you just saw that running. It does a Maven-based build. It does the builda build, pushes the image to Red Hat Quay.io. Okay, that then in turn the Tekton updates the SHA on the GitHub. That's the little YAML we saw earlier, the little customization file. That is being watched by ArgoCD, which is doing a diff and a sync, and it of course causes the image to be pulled and redeployed. So there's a lot of moving parts here to get that full operation to work. The actual pipeline files you can see over here. This is basically how a pipeline is set up, right? So there's all the YAML the user would hand create at this point in time, and of course load into the system. And let me also show you this, kubectl get pods. If I say kubectl get pods here, you can see there is the git clone completed, the Maven completed, 0 of 2, 1 of 1. The builda is running right now. So let me go back and look at the console. So the Tekton-based application, or the Tekton itself, is running its pods in the system. So let's go back to the console and look over here. Yep. Oh, the git update looks like it's Looks like it's doing its thing now. So if I come over to pipelines, you can see it's green, all completed. And if I go over here to topology, and let's watch those pods right there, those 5 pods. And let's go look at our Quay.io. Notice this is 1 day ago. If I hit refresh, a few seconds ago it was updated. If I go over here to the customization file, hit refresh, see there it is. There's a new SHA right there. So if I go look at it, see right there, it says, okay, there's a 15ED2, and so that's not the right one. I'm looking at the wrong one here. Completely misdirected everybody here. Let's see. So 15ED2. Oh, there it is. So the 23F8F and a 23F8F. And if we watch our ArgoCD console, we'll see if it will do a refresh. Just to go ahead, by default, it's a 3-minute wait. Let's go ahead and kick it and get it going. And then, and there you go. See, there's the rolling update against those pods. And that little endpoint I mentioned earlier. Dun, 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 and turbine and poll, right? So we can be polling that. You will actually see, the end user will see the rolling update. There it is. So we were on Aloha. Now the bonjours are coming through. You can see the date timestamp changed. And so if we actually watch the user interface, you can see it's just rolling out. There's 3 of the new pods, 1 of the old pod, and there it goes, right? So the rolling update, that's just part of the Kubernetes capability. And they're all rolled out. So we've now made all the changes. So we come back now to our game, our application. We come over here and hit refresh. You will see it now has enable shaking. And if you're using a mobile phone, you could in fact say make it shake.